Big Ten Media Days is 1 day away. Football is in the air. And folks, they just released the preseason poll going over every single team in the conference. So in today's video, I'm going to give you my instant reaction. I've not seen this yet. Where does Nebraska stack up? Are we top 10, 8, 7, 6, potentially even top 5? Did they disrespect us? And everything else you need to know. And then we've got a couple big time nuggets around a couple Huskers, most notably Carter Nelson and Teddy Prohaska. I'm going to share those with you. And the last but not least, the Nebraska media team potentially leaked the Huskers brand new alternate uniforms, a 90s retro. We're going to see what it looks like, whether or not Nebraska will actually wear it. Are we even going to have alternates this year, period? And so much more. So really quick, we have a lot to get into. Hey, if you're having a good Monday, because I know I am, hit that like button. And also, the season is almost here. So if you're a diehard Nebraska fan, join this family of over 12,000 strong for daily Husker content. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, we have a lot to get into. Big Ten Media Day starts up tomorrow. Matt Rhule, Nebraska, they will be hitting the stage around 1 o'clock Central in Las Vegas. A little bit later this year, we know, of course, with that West Coast time zone. So again, Matt Rhule expects something around 1 p.m., then the players around 4, 5 p.m. Of course, we'll have content all day on the channel talking about the nuggets that we learned because we're going to hear a lot of new information. But with that being said, they released the annual preseason poll going over all Big Ten teams, where they think teams will finish in this conference. So let's just get into it. Where's Nebraska at? Because I have not seen this yet. We're going to go from last to first. And overall, just my prediction. I think they're going to put Nebraska at 6. That's what I'm expecting here. I think, of course, they're going to have Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, and Oregon at that top 4 in any order. Then they're probably going to have Illinois at 5, and I think they're going to put Nebraska 6. We'll see if that lives up to the case. They got Purdue last. Not shocking there, I imagine. Yep, Northwestern, probably Maryland, UCLA next. Yep, not shocking. And then it gets a little interesting here. You got Rutgers tied for 13. Rutgers is a team that just constantly makes bowl games now. They're constantly around 6, 7 wins, so could be a lot worse than Rutgers, right? Like, they're still a team that's very competitive in this conference. Got Michigan State. Nebraska does play them this year in Lincoln. We'll see if they take a bump. You got Wisconsin at 12. Wow. That's not good. I don't agree with that. I think Wisconsin's going to be one of the worst teams in this conference. I really do, especially because their schedule, they have the hardest schedule in the Big Ten. Their entire offense is just horrendous. Their offensive line is awful. Their quarterback play is awful. Luke Fickell is on the hot seat. I believe he's going to be fired after this year, so I don't think Wisconsin's going to be good at all. I really don't. You got PJ Fleck in Minnesota at 11. That's not too shocking either. That's pretty much consensus from what I've seen. I've seen them as high as maybe 9, as low as 12. So I think that's fine for Minnesota. 10, you got Washington. Okay, I've seen some people be higher on Washington than 10. Again, they're making a big jump. They got a good quarterback. They got a good offense. Jed Fish is doing a good job over there. So Nebraska, they do play them not this year, but next year. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on Washington and how they continue to improve under Fish. Now, this is kind of the range where I could see Nebraska, right? We're in the top 10. That's expected. I can see us as low as 9, as high as 6. We will see here. All right, let's see. I think it's going to be 6. I really do. You got 9, USC. I agree with that. Just because USC, while they're talented, they're on a downward trajectory with Lincoln Riley. They went 7-6 last year. Nebraska, they're on an upward trajectory. So while USC did beat us last year, Nebraska, I'm cool with them being ahead of USC. All right, number 8. Ooh, this is where they put Nebraska. So I don't love it, and that means that Iowa's ahead of us. That means Indiana's ahead of us. I don't love that. I believe we're talented enough to be top 5, truly. I truly believe we're talented enough to be top 5. We're going to have that big jump everybody's talking about. And it should be noted that this is their prediction for the end of the year. So this is where they think Nebraska will end. They think we'll be the 8th best team in the conference. I don't love that, purely because all offseason long, it's been on Matt Rhule's going to take this big jump. He's going to pick this big jump in year 3. Being the 8th best team in the Big Ten is not a big jump. It's just not, right? Like, in order to have that big jump, you got to be, in my opinion, at least 6, maybe top 5, maybe even top 4, right? That's that huge jump that everybody's been talking about, okay? Being the 8th best team in the conference, that's nothing. So I don't love that. I hope that doesn't turn out to be the case. But again, it's one thing for all these be reporters to not respect us, not give us all the respect we deserve, whatever it is, what it is. We got to prove it on game days. So we can just note this down, right? Keep it in the back pocket and say, you know what? If we finish top 5, top 4 in this conference, we can look back on this and laugh. But 8th, I mean, they're giving us a little bit of respect. It's cool. At least we're not 10, right? At least we're not 11. I've seen some publications go that low, but I think we honestly probably should have been a little higher. I don't like the Iowa's ahead of us. Where do they got Iowa? They got Iowa at 7. Okay. I think Iowa doesn't have an offense. They don't have an offense, so that's why I don't like them there. You got Indiana at 6. That's fine. I mean, they made the playoffs last year, right? And they got a good quarterback, Fernando Mendoza. they got some good transfers coming in, so I don't hate Indiana there. Illinois, oh, they got Michigan at 5. I would have thought this would have been Illinois' spot. So they probably got Illinois at 4. That's a little too much. It's a little too much for Illinois, I think. Oregon, and then you got Ohio State, and you got Penn State number 1. I agree with Penn State at number 1. So definitely interesting there. Let me know your thoughts down below about the preseason poll. And then it was also released the odds to make the cultural playoff per Circa Sports. Nebraska has the 7th best odds in the conference. Illinois a little bit ahead of us. Actually, no, we're tied with Illinois. So actually, we have the 6th best odds in the conference. Excuse me. USC's a little bit ahead of us, which I don't. If you're betting on USC to make the playoffs, you're just giving away money to the casino at that point, right? And then you got the top 4 there. So again, I mean, the betting odds are giving us respect. Not necessarily these media polls, but the betting odds are definitely giving us respect. So interesting. Well, again, once again, we got to prove it on game day. But that's a little bit more in our favor. That is where I thought we were going to be. I thought we were going to be top 6 in the poll. Well, we weren't, but we are top 6 in the odds to make the college football playoffs. So that says a lot. All right, going on to some nuggets around some certain players. Carter Nelson, he was seen the other day. They had an event, the road race down there in Lincoln, something they do every single year for charity. And Carter Nelson was interviewed. Not only does he look completely healthy, again, we'll talk about that in an upcoming video, whether or not he's actually healthy, the role for him this year. But the interesting that we learned about Carter Nelson, look at him, put on 20 pounds of muscle. I mean, he does not look like a wide receiver anymore. Last year he looked all skin and bones, right? Like he could not line up at tight end because he couldn't block for anything, right? I told you guys the most important thing around Carter Nelson was getting healthy, number 1, and then putting on weight. And he has put on weight in a big way. I mean, he looks the part. So Carter Nelson looks a lot bigger this year. No longer will you see him out wide at wide receiver. He will be a tight end. Now, is he actually 100% healthy with his hip? We'll see. We'll probably get answers pretty quickly, but we'll talk about that in another video. But look at Carter Nelson. I believe, if I were to guess right now, I believe he's around 240, maybe 235. He was pretty skinny last year, but he is around, I'd say around 235, 240, which is what you need to be a tight end in the Big Ten. He can't be any skinnier than that. So Carter Nelson looking good. And also talking about another player who was injured, look at Teddy Prohaska. I can confirm that he is 100% healthy going into fall ball. Again, no knee brace. Of course, we know that he tore his ACL last offseason. So Teddy Prohaska will be 100%, no limitations when we get to fall practice. Feeling good about Teddy. And I think, again, if you have been inclined, and you're hearing this coaching staff and what they've been saying, believe that he's probably going to be our right tackle starter, right? And I know there's some hype around Gatula, there's some hype around Tyler Knack, there's some hype around Corcoran. Like, they believe that Teddy Prohaska, as it stands, the most talented tackle, not named Elijah Pritchett, on this roster, right? They believe he's probably a little bit more talented than Gunnar Gatula. The problem is with Teddy's just never healthy. So he is healthy right now. Just know that if he stays that way, he probably will be our right tackle starter, but definitely will be a battle in the fall. And then I want to get to the uniform conversation, because the media team, they released a video today. They were basically, I'll show you this real quick. They're basically hyping up this team, right? They're doing some media day photos. Look at Jeremiah Jones. He looks huge. Look at Vincent Shavers, right? So anyways, they just played this video, right? They're getting ready for the season, doing some interviews, all down the third. And they showed Derek Branch about halfway through wearing a 90s retro uniform. And then this kind of went viral over the last couple hours. People are thinking that we're going to wear this retro uniform this year, whether they think it's going to be versus Michigan State, because we're playing against Michigan State. What is it, week 5 or week 6? We play Michigan State, and we also played them in 1995. So people think it's going to be the Michigan State game. We wear this 90s uniform. Now, unfortunately, I do not think we're going to wear this uniform, just because Derek Branch's dad was actually on the team about 30 years ago. So I think it was just kind of a cool little bit for him to put on his dad's uniform in this little media scene. But we're not actually going to wear this uniform. But I just want to mention it because it's been going viral. People are thinking we're going to wear this little 90s throwback. Probably not going to happen, but it would be cool. It'd be cool. I kind of like this, but you can see with the big shoulder pads, like I think it's just a little cool bit because his dad was a former Husker and he's wearing that for the media shoot. So are we actually going to wear these uniforms? Probably not. But with that being said, I think we will wear alternate uniforms. And I have a video coming out in about a week talking about what uniforms we could potentially wear. But I will say this, I saw something that was interesting today. People want the stripes off the uniforms. They want the stripes off the pants. This is something that has been around Husker Twitter, Husker Internet for a very long time. They want the stripes off the pants. I want to hear your thoughts on that. Okay, so we'll talk about the alternates at a later day, but what are your thoughts on the stripes on the pants? Because we know we wore them all throughout the Bo Pelini, Mike Riley era. When Scott Frost got here, he got rid of them because, back in the 90s, we did not wear the stripes on the pants, and then we put them back on when Matt Rule got here. So I want to know your thoughts. Do you like the stripes on the pants? Do you want to get rid of them? My take is simply this. I actually do like the stripes. I like the stripes on the home uniforms, I like the stripes on the away uniforms. I do not like the stripes on the home uniforms, if that makes sense. I think this looks a lot cleaner than this, But at the exact same time, I did not like it in the Scott Frost era when we wore our away uniforms and we would not have stripes on the pants. It looks a lot less clean in my opinion. So I hope that makes sense. Keep the stripes on the away uniforms. Maybe you can get rid of them on the home uniforms. Just do a little mix and match. But it'll be interesting to see. They might do something this year where there's games where we do have the stripes. There's games where we don't have the stripes. I don't know. Will be interesting, but that's something that's out today that I wanted to get your guys' opinions on. So let me know what kind of alternate uniform you want us to wear. We'll have a video talking about that in about a week's time. All right, guys, Big Ten Media Days once again tomorrow. I don't know how I'm going to cover it on the channel just because it's a little bit later in the day, right? Like, we're not going to get once it's all done with and every Nebraska player and coach is done, it'll be around 7 or 8 o'clock maybe at night. And at that point, I'm like, I don't even know if I want to make a video, that late night. So I might end up waiting to recap it on Wednesday, or we might even go live. We might go live on the channel, so let me know what you guys want. Recapping Big Ten Media Days. Of course, I'll have a regularly scheduled video coming out tomorrow morning, not over Big Ten Media Days, but we'll do, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'm just trying to brainstorm. All right, guys. Hey, if you made this far, hit that like button and subscribe. As always, folks, go be great. Go Met Rule, and I'll see you in the next one.